house guests. Welcome to today's Big Brother Canada 8 updates and spoilers. Our house guest of the day is Toby Skaggs. Thank you so much for the support, Toby. We could not do this without you, and we really, really do appreciate it. So thank you again. And if you guys want to be house guest of the day like Toby, check out our Patreon link in the info box below. So when we left off yesterday, Sheldon had just shared some Wendy's with Madeline, and we saw last week that Chris met his mother. I still can't believe he didn't remember her, but in the Wendy's window, and that was a nice little surprise. So it sounds like Sheldon got a video from his mom when he went to go get his Wendy's. Aww. So he also, during this Wendy's segment, started prepping Maddy to go up on the block. Ugh, he's putting her up, but at least he's giving her a meal, right? Apparently she cried. There's nothing like a soggy burger, right? So Sheldon is planning on putting Maddy up next to Rianne. Rianne is the target this week because he's afraid that Rianne would put up Brooke and Sheldon if he won HOH, and he cannot have that. And it sounds like he's also tired of her negative energy around the house. I have to say, probably 75% of the conversations that I've heard that included Rianne, it was all like complaining. So yeah, but he will be giving both Maddy and Rianne a heads up before the nomination ceremony. He's not going to be a total Chris this week. So Sheldon is not sure who would go up as their placement nominee if the POV is used, because Rianne is his target. He's not planning like a backdoor at this point. I mean, it is possible that his replacement nominee could become the target, but he doesn't have a backdoor plan from the get-go. So he's like, I don't know, I could put up like Min Lee. No one would really be upset. But that would mean, Min Lee would become the new target and the 3 evictors would still be in the game. And that's not really ideal. But Sheldon really likes John Luke, so he does not want to put up John Luke as the replacement nominee. He wants to keep him around for now and work with him for a while. Kyle's got his own ideas. Kyle really is pushing for Hira to be the replacement nominee because he knows that Hira is gunning for him hard. Hira and Jamar both want Kyle out. But Sheldon doesn't really want to put Hira up at this point. He wants him to go soon, but he doesn't want to be the one to do it, because he's supposed to be in a 5-person alliance with Hira, Jamar, Brooke, and Suzanne. And of course, we know that it's a fake alliance. Sheldon is actually loyal to KVBS. But he's got this fake 5-person alliance going right now, and that would definitely be exposed if Sheldon put Hira up on the block, because Hira and Sheldon and Jamar would say, what the hell, I thought we were lying. They would definitely tell people about that, and they would realize that Sheldon is working with Kyle, because why would he put up Hira and not Kyle? So he's really nervous about all that. He's like, I don't know if I could put up Hira at this point. So Maddy and Rianne were commiserating in the have-not swamp, and they feel that Sheldon's really playing it safe this week by putting them up on the block. There are other bigger targets like Chris and Kyle and Vanessa, and they're just little Maddy and Rianne. They don't feel like they're huge threats at this point, so why are they going up on the block? And hello, they notice that John Luke seems to be off the table this week. There's no real discussion of him going up, so they're like, what the hell is going on there? So Rianne says, I wouldn't say this to anyone else, but I'm going to tell you. She says, Brooke is Sheldon's right-hand man, and she's calling some of the shots this week. And it seems like Brooke likes John Luke. I don't know about likes, but anyway, Rianne says that Brooke flirts with Sheldon, John Luke, and Kyle. So that's why those guys are not going up on the block. Ooh. So Rianne says, whatever, we need to keep being social with everyone, because maybe if one of us wins the power of veto, we can get Sheldon to put Chris up as the replacement nominee, and he can go and we can both stay. I don't really see Chris going up at all this week. I don't think that's going to happen, but it is possible that somebody else could go up and become the new target, like Min Lee. Definitely. But Chris, no, they're barking up the wrong tree there. So then Maddy was talking to Brooke later. She's trying to get in with her, trying to build some new alliances. So they were chatting in the colorful bedroom. And Maddy's all like, I wanted to thank you for telling me last week that you knew about the plan to backdoor Michael, because even though it sucked, like, I was really glad that you told me. So Maddy says at this point, she's a lone wolf, but she is not a floater. She's not even sure how she got into this situation. Come on. We all know that you were in that 4-person alliance. We know. So she says people painted the picture that we were in this alliance, so we just kind of became one because of it. So Maddy says, you know, it's not the same with just the 3 of us anymore. We're not as tight as we were last week. Michael was the one that connected all of us, and we all agreed that we're kind of just going our own way now. Like, we all still care about each other, but we're going our own ways in the game. I'm pretty sure the 3 are still together and, like, looking out for each other, but they're definitely going off on their own and trying to make new connections. But they're not just, like, throwing each other in the garbage. No way. So, yeah. Maddy says she's not the smartest or most physical competitor, but she says what I can provide is my honesty, loyalty, and trust. And she says people that she trusts, she will go to war for. She says, I want to align myself with those people, and I see that in you, and I can see myself working with you. So Brooke says, yeah, you know, before Michael left, he told me that I can trust the 3 of you, and yeah. Nothing was solidified during this conversation. They didn't, like, make an alliance or anything, but they are moving towards having a better relationship, and Maddy did suggest Chris as a potential target this week because, you know, last week he put up Brooke. He was dropping Sheldon's name as a potential backdoor target, so she feels like there should be reasons here to put Chris up on the block. And Brooke's like, I'll talk to Sheldon. That means you're going up. It's not Chris. Okay. So then later, the feeds joined in mid-conversation as Sheldon was telling Maddy she's going up on the block. And she thanked him for telling her. And then Sheldon pulled Rianne aside and said, ooh, I'm putting up you and Maddy. I'm sorry, it's not personal. We just haven't connected on a game level yet, and I have made connections with other people. So he says, I'm giving you guys a chance to play in the veto. I don't have a set target yet, so you never know what could happen. He does, and it's Rianne! So Rianne also says, I appreciate you telling me. And it just makes me think of this, past week's episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm. I really appreciate it. Okay, so then the feeds went down for a while for the nomination ceremony, and guess what? Sheldon put Maddy and Rianne up on the block. Duh. So after the nominations, Jamar is pissed. First of all, he wants Kyle to be the target this week. He thinks it's really lame that Sheldon put Maddy and Rianne up on the block. Also, he's pissed because earlier, Sheldon was telling him that he would pick Jamar to play in the Power of Veto if he gets House Guest Choice. And this doesn't matter anyway because the HOH doesn't play in the veto this season. So Sheldon wouldn't have a House Guest Choice anyway, but whatever. So he told Jamar that he would pick him, but now he's saying that he would pick Brooke, because he thinks the Power of Veto might have something to do with the arrivals and departures board in the Expedia Lounge. Everybody was thinking it was going to be part of the HOH competition, and that didn't happen. So now they're thinking it could be for the veto. And let's face it, Brooke has been studying more and knows the information way better than Jamar does. So Jamar's upset. He's insisting there's no way the competition is going to have to do with that. This is crap. He's being left out again. So late last night, the KVBS met in the HOH room. So that's Kyle, Vanessa, Brooke, and Sheldon. And they are not happy with Jamar this week. He was already on their radar because he's been saying he wants Kyle out. But the way that he is reacting to Sheldon's nominations and the whole POV situation, they're not happy with him. So Sheldon tells Kyle, I want you to win HOH next week and take out Jamar. He is a liability to our group. And Kyle's like, yeah, if that's what you want, I'll do it. And he says he would love to put Jamar on slop, too. Damn! Okay, so anyway, they want to get Jamar and Minli out pre-jury. And while they're at it, they also want to take out Kira before pre-jury. Kyle says, if we can get rid of those 3, we're going to make the final 4. Oh, it's just that easy. Sure. But then again, after seeing what the Pretty Boys did last season, anything is possible. So, yeah. Rianne is still the target this week. She's been doing too good of a job reintegrating. That's how KVBS feels anyway. It makes them really nervous. And if Rianne does win the veto, Sheldon's thinking he should put up Min Lee, and she should be the new target. Kyle agrees. Min Lee is an agent of chaos, and they cannot have that. So, today, the feeds went down for a bit for the Power of Veto player picks, but when they came back, there was some drama up in the HOH room. A bunch of people were in there, and it seemed like Kyle and Jamar had some sort of confrontation while the feeds were still down, and this was kind of like the aftershocks. So Kyle told Jamar, apparently, that when he is all angry and upset, it makes everybody else feel really uncomfortable. So Jamar was not happy about that, and Kyle's apologizing. He's like, I shouldn't have worded it like that. It's really messed up. And you could tell Sheldon was really trying to diffuse this situation and make everyone stop fighting. So then, Jamar says, a bunch of people have come up to me saying that, Kyle, you are coming after me, and you want to see me on slop. That's true. And he's like, okay, you're telling me that you wouldn't put me up. Kyle, you're telling me that you wouldn't put me up. And I don't know why I would believe anything you say to me when you've said in front of everyone that you would say or do anything to win this game for your family. That's also true. So he's telling Kyle, convince me that your apology is sincere and genuine. And Kyle's like, I don't think I have to do that. I'm sorry. So then they're kind of going back and forth, and Brooke keeps interjecting and saying, you know what, this shouldn't be a house meeting situation. Like, this is not the correct venue for this. This should be a private conversation. So maybe you guys should go off and talk on your own. So then Min Lee jumps in, and she's like, excuse me. No one needs to regulate the conversations like they control the dynamics of the house. People can have conversations however they want, in front of whoever they want, whatever. If people want to air shit out, they should be able to air shit out. So we've seen Brooke kind of try and calm things down before when Kyle and Michael were arguing. Well, she's doing it again. So then there was this thing. I guess Kyle was upset about something Jamar said about slop, because this is Kyle's second week in a row as a have-not. So he's really feeling the slop and the no sleep right now. So I think Jamar was saying something along the lines of, I don't want to do slop, and if anybody picks me as a have-not, they're going to be out next week. So that did not sit well with Kyle, again, who's been on slop for 2 weeks now. So he does this, impression of Jamar saying that, and he was like, he did this voice that Jamar did not like, and Jamar's like, okay, whatever, I'm a positive guy, anyone can come talk to me whenever, and he leaves. So after Jamar leaves, Kyle says, why am I always the one taking shit for everything? I wonder why. So maybe because you're always involved in this stuff. So Kyle was also really annoyed about people, specifically Brooke, interjecting during this whole conversation. But it's interesting that he wasn't really mad at Sheldon, just at Brooke. So Kyle and Brooke talked through things. They don't want to have issues, man. They got their KVBS alliance. You don't want that blowing up right now. So then I'm just wondering, who's playing in the Power of Veto? So it's a weird one this week. Apparently there are 10 people playing in this competition, and it sounds like they're going to be competing in teams of 2. So maybe it is the Expedia reward POV comp, and maybe one person from each team will get, one person from the winning team will get power veto and maybe one gets a trip. I don't know. But the pairs, according to the lovely Hamster Watch, are Maddy and John Luke. We've got Rianne and Hira. We've got Brooke and Suzanne, Chris and Kyle, and Min Lee and Vanessa. Okay, so the competition should be at some point today. If it's done at a normal hour, I will put the winner in the info for the spoiler if you want to check back later. We'll see what happens. It'd be kind of interesting if the veto was used this week, right? So let me know what you guys think, and until next time, much love.